Welcome back to the FreeMelon Society. I am Eli Martyr. Thank you so much for joining me, ladies and gentlemen, here on the Secret Classroom. I'm about to jump into another important topic. So today, what we're going to be getting into is we're going to be getting into cholesterol. And there is tons of information on cholesterol. You can find the nuts and bolts and the simple mechanics of cholesterol, or at least the conventional theory of cholesterol. You can find tons of information out there, okay? So let me just tell you what I'm doing here today. What I'm going to do is I'm just distilling the information and giving you what you need to know in a very, very bite-sized nugget of information here, so that you have some simple imagery that you can always remember what cholesterol is doing. Also recognize that I'm not going to be going into ultra fine details that you don't really need to know, don't really matter in the grand scheme of things, and you can go anywhere to get the very particular details in the biochemistry. So if I breeze over some things, that, understand that I'm going to be breezing over things. So if you give me a hard time about that, then maybe I'll just come over and suplex you. Okay, so cholesterol. So what is cholesterol? Cholesterol is a type of lipid. All right. Now, a lipid is a biomolecule. Of the biomolecules, we've identified four. So we have carbohydrates, fats, proteins, and nucleic acid. Okay, so these are the five biomolecules. What do we mean when we say biomolecules? These are the molecules, the living molecules that make up life as it applies to our diet and eating and health and wellness and all that. Okay, so the four biomolecules, we have a classification of biomolecules called lipids. And in that classification of lipids, there are several types of lipids, which are fats. You can say fat and lipid are interchangeable terms. So when you say fat, you're saying lipid. If you're saying lipid, you're saying fat. Triglycerides are the type of fat that you're accustomed to dealing with. This is the common type of fat that you'd be seeing and hearing about in the dietary world. But there are also another kind of fats called sterols. Okay. Cholesterol is a type of sterol. Now, this cholesterol is produced in the liver primarily. It also could be produced in other body cells. I don't know for sure, but that's apparently what we've discovered. So, can be produced in the body cells, but primarily produced in the liver. And the cholesterol that we're referring to here today is animal cholesterol. The cholesterol produced by an animal body or a human body. And this cholesterol is not found in plants. Many of us know this already. So you will never find this type of cholesterol in any kind of plant tissue and any kind of organic plant matter that you eat. You'll only find it if you are eating. Well, you only get it into your body if you're eating animal products. Okay. Yes, there is a type of plant cholesterol. Plant cholesterol is called a phytosterol. That's what we call it. But it acts in a completely different way than cholesterol does in the animal body. So we don't really need to worry about that. So yes, you can only get cholesterol from animal products. Okay, so that's about it for the basics. All right, now let's just get into what you need to know. All right. First major thing you need to know, do you need cholesterol in your diet? Do you need to eat cholesterol from the outside world in order to be healthy? Do you need it in your diet? The answer is no. You do not need cholesterol from the outside world. You do not need to eat cholesterol. You do not need to worry about eating cholesterol. You don't need to worry about taking in cholesterol in any significant way for the rest of your life. Okay. Next, no, I should flesh that out a little bit more. This idea that you need cholesterol, it comes from this idea that if our body produces it, we need to eat it. Now, of course, if you just ruminate on this for a couple moments, you realize that this is not necessarily the case. If someone makes this claim and says, oh, well, your body produces cholesterol, so if you don't eat it, then you're not going to be producing it. If someone makes this argument, then you just kindly say to them, oh, okay, well, in that case, why don't you come on over? I've got some hydrochloric acid. I'll make you a hydrochloric acid smoothie, and you take it, and then, it will be great, because your body produces hydrochloric acid, so therefore you must need it in your diet, right? It becomes very silly, and you could go down the list of things that your body produces that you would obviously never even consider as a dietary item. Hair, sweat, tears, testosterone, boogers, cortisol, estrogen, lymph, spinal fluid, spinal fluid, semen, like all these things that you, oh my God, all these things that you produce, you do not need to eat them in order for your body to produce them. Okay. I'm sure that's obvious. There's no need for me to spend more time on this than that. Your body's cholesterol faculties are self-regulating and you never need to worry about them coming from the outside. What you do need to worry about is the health that your body is maintained at so that you can produce your own cholesterol properly without the acids and the toxic wastes burdening your tissues and then corrupting your ability to produce your own cholesterol. So you need to worry about health, not cholesterol. So now we know what cholesterol is, apparently. We think we know a lot more than we do, but we kind of know what cholesterol is, and we know that we definitely don't need to worry about it coming from the outside world. Okay, so what does cholesterol do? Well, before we go into what cholesterol does, let's just keep in mind principles. Okay, so we always got to remember principles, because without your principles, you're just gonna get lost in the storm. Your body is a self-regulating, self-healing, self-correcting entity that is powered and guided by the intelligence of the universe. Okay? That infinitely intelligent wisdom of God and nature has been individualized in each particular animal body or human body. And it serves you by bringing the best out of you and healing you every moment of every day. If it didn't do that, then you would be dead tomorrow. Now, if you get some trauma from the outside, cuts, scrapes, burns, contusions, hickeys, anything, any kind of trauma from the outside, okay, what happens? Well, for all you're concerned with, nothing. You don't do anything. God takes care of this, okay? Nature takes care of this. Your infinite body wisdom just takes care of this. It starts healing. It doesn't matter what condition you're in. Your body just heals this on its own.
By no means, by no means, king of the road.
Now, surely, if your body does this on the outside, you have to imagine that it's doing this on the inside as well, that it has a mechanism in place to do this same type of divine reparative work on the inside, just like it has on the outside. So, what is cholesterol? What does it do? Cholesterol is the internal raw material used for repair of damaged tissue in the body. The most dramatic example we have of this is when cholesterol builds up in the endothelial lining of your arteries. And this happens when there is damage done to the lining of that artery, to the lining of that endothelial wall. If you want some easy ways to think of cholesterol, all you need to think of is a Band-Aid. Okay, cholesterol is an internal Band-Aid. Cholesterol is a Band-Aid for the inside. If you don't like that mental imagery, you can think of it like this. You cut yourself and a scab forms on your skin. Cholesterol is a scab on the inside. Okay, cholesterol is what happens. Cholesterol is the raw material that your body uses to make scabs to protect damaged tissue on the inside. A raw material for repair work is not the only function of cholesterol. Okay, so we're told. We're also told that cholesterol is a building material, is a raw material for building other hormones in the body. Okay, so our sex hormones and corticosteroids that are produced by our adrenal glands use cholesterol as a raw material. Cholesterol is a raw material for many different things in the body. Okay? That's all I'm going to go into here because, again, you can get this information anywhere. I should end the lecture right here and say, congratulations, you know what you need to know about cholesterol, because the rest is really details. The only thing that's left to know now is, okay, well, how do you damage? Like, why would your body have to do repair work on the inside? Which is very important information.
Meat. First impression when you see this guy. Super fit, healthy, chest day, focused way too much on chest day. Looks good. Oh, not so healthy, is he? Blocked arteries. He had 3 completely blocked arteries. He's on a carnivore diet. He did all the right things. He was fasting, no seed oils, doing the cardio, lifting weights. How would you know? Like, heart disease is the silent killer. You can look so healthy. So, like, a lot of us, like, base our diets on how people look, following them. So, okay, this guy's carnivore. He looks so great and healthy and handsome. I'm going to follow that diet. Oh, how come you haven't told me that your arteries are clogged and you're penile?
But if you want more details on how, on the mechanism, the microscopic mechanisms that are at work when you damage your arteries, lots of material here. Go watch any of Caldwell Esselstyn's lectures, buy his books, read his books. You'll get all the information that you need.
The endothelium. There are two words that I want you to carry home today from this presentation, and that's the first one, endothelium. The endothelium. All experts in this disease would agree that where this disease has its inception, its onset, its beginning, endothelium, is when we progressively injure the life jacket and the guardian of our blood vessels, which happens to be that delicate innermost lining, endothelium. When you eat this cheeseburger, milkshake, and pizza, things get sticky, sticky, sticky. Your platelets get sticky, your LDL cholesterol gets sticky, your white cells get sticky, and even your endothelial cells get sticky. In this blue area up here is where the blood is flowing. And then you see these tiny little endothelial cells which separate the flowing blood from the artery wall. Together, here on the left, what you're looking at is your LDL cholesterol, which is orange. It finds a crack, a fissure, an opening, and it migrates into the subendothelial space where it is no longer orange because it has been oxidized by these nasty free radicals. And now what we have is a small, hard, dense, oxidized LDL particle, which the subendothelial space does not like, and calls upon the SWAT team, our white blood cells. And here you see this SWAT team, macrophage, going across, gobbling up like Pac-Man, all these small, hard, dense LDL particles until we get all the way over to here. When we now do in medicine that we do so often, we change the name and is now called a foam cell.
Cholesterol doesn't actually clump up and build up together in the artery channel, in the hole in the middle of the artery, right, where the blood flows. It actually builds up underneath a thin layer of tissue, right, in the muscular layer, in the endothelial lining of your artery. And of course, it's doing that because something is damaging the artery, is damaging that lining. And so your body recognizes this, releases cholesterol to do some repair work, and that's what's happening. So it's not that globs of cholesterol are getting jammed up in your tissue. It's that
endothelium.
That exogenous cholesterol is damaging to your body, and it actually hurts your endothelial lining. And so your own body produces the repair mechanisms that is what we see in clogged arteries. Okay, so next little section, let's talk about HDL and LDL. So HDL is high density lipoprotein, and LDL is low density lipoprotein. HDL and LDL are simply taxi cabs that cholesterol jumps in so that it can head out to work and then come back home to the liver. Okay, so your liver produces cholesterol. When your body sends out the signals that damage has been done where cholesterol is needed, then cholesterol jumps in a taxi cab, which is LDL, and goes to the site of the injury. When the repair work is done and the cholesterol is no longer needed, that cholesterol jumps back in another taxi cab, HDL, and brings it back to the liver. Okay? HDL and LDL are types of proteins that carry cholesterol from the liver or the site of origin to the area that has been damaged, and then another different type of protein or a taxi cab or a transport, okay, takes that cholesterol back to the liver, which is called HDL in this case, or what we've classified as HDL. The reason that cholesterol is called good or bad is that we make the interpretation that if cholesterol is going back to the liver and away from the site of injury, we call that good, which is HDL. And if cholesterol is going to the site of injury, we call that bad. Okay? Now, of course, the obvious thing to notice here is that none of those processes are good or bad. So if anybody uses the term good cholesterol or bad cholesterol, then, you can feel free to politely correct them or just offer some information. It's like, no, none of them are good or bad. It's just a body process. Both processes are just as necessary, just as critical, just as crucial. LDL takes those cholesterol raw materials to where it's needed. HDL takes it back when it's no longer needed. That's it. Okay, so now that we know what's up with cholesterol, we know that it's not good or bad. It's just a raw material for repair work. And we know that we never need to eat it from the outside world. How do we answer a couple of the common questions that we see? So if you've got very high cholesterol, it's an indication that there might be damage being done
endothelium.
that requires cholesterol to be used as a raw material to patch up the damage. Okay. If I have high LDL cholesterol, does that mean I should start to worry? Does that mean I should go and get some cholesterol lowering drugs that eventually kill you in the end? No, that would be a very foolish choice to make. You would not want to do that because, as we know, there's no such thing as good or bad cholesterol. And you would never want to interfere in your body's process of repair work. If I smashed you in the face with a rock, would it be a good idea to immediately take a drug that stops the process of inflammation on your forehead, assuming I threw the rock at your forehead? Right? You would never want that. Why? Because the inflammation is exactly what's necessary in order to set the cascade of events in motion that heal the site of injury. So why the hell would you want to do that on the inside? If you have a high HDL cholesterol level, what does that mean? Is that a good sign? Is that a better sign? Well, I don't know. I mean, if you want to think of it like that, you can. Whether it's high LDL or HDL, it means your body works. So it means it's either in the repair phase or it's in the end of the repair phase where stuff is coming back. But if you've got high HDL cholesterol levels, then it might mean that you are no longer hurting yourself as much, or damage is not being done. So now your body can worry about recycling the cholesterol that has been used for repair work, and of course for other functions in the body. Like I said earlier, it's used for many other things, to produce the hormones and all that. So there are other implications here, but this is just a general sketch. If you see high cholesterol levels, high LDL levels in non-dietary related circumstances. So like, what are some other circumstances where you might have high cholesterol, but it's not because you're eating cholesterol in the diet? Well, things like stress, okay? If you've stressed yourself, if you have come off of a fast or a cleanse of some sort, and your body is in the middle of using that fast to do repair work, right? You could see higher cholesterol levels in those situations, even if you're not eating it from the outside, right? So again, if you see these cholesterol levels, does that mean it's time to panic? No, it means that your body, it's a snapshot in time, and it's telling you what is happening in the system. And so whether you're in the repair phase or the after repair phase, that's an indication to you that you can take and learn from and know if you're hurting yourself or if you've stopped hurting yourself. Right? And cholesterol levels come back down to normal or homeostasis. And if they fly up, then it's an indication, oh crap, okay, I must have hurt myself. Or it's a good thing. It just means that, oh, well, I've just come off of this cleanse. That could mean that there was repair work done. And then you just continue to live a healthy lifestyle on the other side of the cleanse or the fast and see how things plateau and level out. Okay, so last little thing, what actually does cause damage, right? Arterial damage or cholesterol plaquing of the arteries. What actually does cause that damage?
Meat.
But let's do a quick recap, because recaps are always good. Cholesterol is a type of fat, or a type of lipid, same thing. A lipid is one of 4 biomolecules. We have carbs, fat, protein, and nucleic acid. Cholesterol is a sterol, which is a type of lipid. Cholesterol is made predominantly by your liver. Your body is equipped with a fully functional internal repair system, and cholesterol is part of that internal repair system. So finally, what does cause injury to your internal body that would require cholesterol to come in and save the day? Meat, fish, eggs, dairy, salt, sugar, oil, coffee, chocolate, processed food. Okay? You avoid those things, you don't have to worry about it. Stick with your species-specific diet. You eat raw vegetables, raw fruits, raw nuts and seeds, and you stick with that as your diet, and then it's going to be very difficult for you to go wrong. Basically, just avoid all of the unnatural stimulating foods that culture throws in your face to try and entice you to eat them, because they make for good products. Refined grain products, refined oil products, refined sugar products, anything with an ingredient list, right? Unless it's a single item ingredient, like lettuce or whatever. So just avoid all those things. Treating your body like a toxic disposal unit for processed foods is not a good idea. Treating your body like a mausoleum for cruelly tortured animals is not a good idea either. So you just stick to whole, natural, raw foods, and you never have to worry about this lecture. You don't have to worry about this lecture, but if you want more information, you can just consult other sources. But that is in a nutshell what cholesterol is. Cholesterol is basically a scab for the inside, a band-aid for your inside. It's your internal repair mechanism. No such thing as good or bad cholesterol, like there's no such thing as good or bad inflammation. It's a necessary part of your body process, and you can let it serve as an indication that something is either hurting you or something is not hurting you. Yeah, that's it. We're done. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me, ladies and gentlemen, here on The Secret Classroom, once again in the FreeMelon Society. Make sure to subscribe to this channel if you want more videos like this or you like videos like this. And if you do like it, maybe give it a thumbs up. That'll always help me with the ratings. And yeah, that's about it. You stay healthy out there. Love you very much. Mwah, and we'll see you next time on the FreeMelon Society. Okay, bye guys.
Endothelium.
Meat.
Endothelium.
Meat.